All right. Can you still see me or you can see my screen?
You can see us, sir.
All right. Okay. Please, whatever you see the other time, it's 3D effect. There's no AC right now. So, um, quickly, we just want to talk about the principles of design. Principles of design. Now, this is different from the elements of design. This is another interesting part of designing itself. Principles of design. And I said something when we were talking about the element of design that the element of design are like the ingredients that we put into our food just to come up with something nice. But you see, this principle of design, we can call them the portion, the the quantity, the size of you being able to work with that element of design and the principles of design together. I'm going to break it down for you. Now, we talk about element of design. We talked about form, typographic, color, imagery. We talked about shape and which
No,
one
that's
again?
the
Huh?
no, not sir, not sir. Sorry, sir.
All right. So we talked about that as the element of design. Now, every of those stuffs are, I explained that there are the things that will always be in our design imagery. We talk about color, we talk about typography. But having all of these on our design, how do we now place them? How do we work with them? Where would they be? Where would they stand? Like how would they be on that design? Are we just going to litter them on it? No. So that is what the principle of design will try to teach us and try to point us to understand that okay, this is how we are going to do this is how we are going to do that. Now, the first one that we are going to be talking is balance. Balance. Now, when we talk about balance, is like you having in accounting, it means that your debit side is the same thing as your credit side. You are not owing anybody, nobody is owing you. That means you have a balance account. In a normal sense, like okay, we can say yes, we are balanced as human being. We have two legs that are the same size and yes, the same length, so we are balanced. Now, we can also say that a table is balanced when it's having a definite and a straight surface and is standing with both sides equal. Now, when we come to economic, we can say okay, demand and supply when it's balanced, no one is being exceeded or anything. Now, I'm just trying to dive into these different industries just to let us know that it is still the same balance that we all know that okay, normal balance. Now, when we're talking about balance in design, it's divided into two. Now, we have the symmetrical and we have the asymmetrical balance. Forget the Oyibo, I'll break it down. Now, when you look at the image, can we see the image on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Can we see the image on the screen?
We can see it, sir. We can see it.
All right. So the first one is symmetrical. Now, the symmetrical balance is showing that we have six circles in on a particular aspect of that big image. We have six circles, and they are having the same weight. They are weighing the same having the same height and the same breadth. That means that the six of them are sharing the same height, the same size, the same length, the same breadth, the same whatever you can call it, but it means that they are balanced. Now, the second one, you see that one is big, one is bigger, one is large, and one is a little bit bigger than all of them. So the thing there is that the two of these images are balanced. Now, the explanation now is that for the first one, which is symmetrical, means that everything are going in the same way, the same size, the same height, the same breadth, the same width, everything is okay. Now, the other one might look like it's not balanced, but it is because the bigger part of the circle is taking a larger part of that design or that image, and we have three corresponding circles also trying to make sure that the bigger one is not just taking everything without having the second
Sorry,
leg.
please. Are you on the same?
Sir? I didn't get that.
So I think we can only see the principle of design on the screen. We can't see the symmetric and asymmetric part.
Wow. I'm coming in the in the physical class too. Let me know when you can see. Let me know when you can see.
We can see it now, sir. We can see it now, sir.
All right. Okay. So I'll just run through it again. Now, when we're having a symmetrical balance, it means according to the image, it shows that we have six circles having the same weight, the same height, the same size, being weighted against each other, and they are forming a sense of balance because we have three at the right, we have three at the left, so it is balanced. Now, the other one, it seems like it's not looking like a balanced image, but it's actually balanced and it is the asymmetrical type of balance. Now, you have a bigger circle taking a larger part of the image, and you have three corresponding circles staying there. Now, those three corresponding circles are trying to take and fit themselves into the other few spaces that are available in design just to make sure that design is okay. That is why you see many designs, you see them that is the picture that is taking the larger part, and the other details are just being put there to correspond. Now, it does not mean that the details or the image or the design is not balanced. And the fact that you have a design that everything is just together, probably like the one I showed you guys yesterday about the Valentine package that we have line the marketing for him and for her. I hope we still remember for him and for her. So that can be called a symmetrical balance because they are standing by each other and they're having the same weight, the same height. But you also have some designs that the image will take a larger part, like the one I showed you guys. Was it yesterday? Yes, about the locks that's having a lady and a guy. So the image is taking the larger part. Now it will be an eyesore if it is just the image that is just on that design without having anything on the design. So the other part that will make the design balance, it is the input of probably your words, your call to action buttons, or your social media details that need to be put there. So that will make the design balance. Now, the composition can be balanced vertically, horizontally, diagonally, or background versus foreground. So every of those English is what I've explained, that you can either have it as a symmetrical balance or have it as an asymmetrical balance. Sorry, let me take. Hello? Uh, okay. The second one, we have contrast. Now I can see. We have contrast. So I want to believe that every one of us at one point in time work with what we call contrast on our phone, on our laptop, on probably most of our devices, and we all can resonate with the fact that we know what contrast means. Now, contrast refers to the use of visually different elements. You understand? It guides the viewer eye to a focal point. And when we talk about the focal points, it means that the center of attraction in a design, the center of attraction in a design. So contrast can also in this form be called like opacity, where you can give 100, you can give 180, you can give 160. So in designing, there's some process or sometimes where you don't need the elements that you're working on your design to be too glaring for people to see. So sometimes you have to just dip the contrast down and give it probably 20%, and it's just there. But if you can, if you take your time to look at the design critically, you notice that there is something on the background that probably the designer did not just want you to see. So, and there are some that will be so big, so large and very glaring that you can see from at least 2 meters. That is how the designer wants it to look like. Now, contrast as a principle of art or design refers to the arrangement of opposite elements and effects For example, light and dark colors, smooth and rough textures, large and small shapes. Now, it's like a form of highlighting. Do you get to highlight like an important information in a design? Probably the designer did not want you to see this. This is one the designer wants you to see. The designer just wants you to see this one. Maybe not to be so glaring. Do you get so those might be the way he wants to actually picture his own interpretation of the design, and that's how it's going to look. So when we talk about contrast, it's about you giving your viewer the guide to see. So when you look at the image that is on the screen now, you can see that we have three images. We have three circles in the image rather. We have the big one that is black. We have okay, let me tell you that these three circles are actually black. Now, the first one, which is the bigger circle, is taking like 100%. Now, the second one, which is in the middle, can be put in probably 80%, and the third one can be 50 or 60. Now, don't forget that I said that the three of the circles are actually black, but in this image, the designer just wants you to notice first the black that is very glaring, which is the 100%. The second one can still call your attention, and that's 80%. While the third one, you might decide not to even take a look at it because, according to the image, it is less important. Because if it's important, it's going to be having probably like 100 or 80 also. So that is what contrast entails. Now, the third one is called emphasis. It's called emphasis. Now, emphasis is like you trying to grab your audience attention. A very good example that we can resonate with is that Suya Nice flyer. The emphasis, there are a lot of emphasis there actually, but the first emphasis there is Suya itself. The Suya itself with fire playing around it. Like, there is no way you're going to see that flyer, and you don't need people to explain to you that you're going to eat meat in this place. You don't need people to explain to you. Okay, the probably the kind of explanation you need is okay, what type of meat are we eating, or when are we eating it, and that can be found under part of the design. But what I actually wanted to picture in that design, my emphasis for that design was for you to see that okay, this is a Suya Night program. This is a Suya. So even before you see the Suya Night that is even bigger, you can reason with me that okay, you first see the Suya itself. So me being able to grab your attention, me being able to get that audience attention at that moment means that I am fulfilling the principle of design called emphasis. Now, people will say, okay, I need you to lay more emphasis, I need you to lay more emphasis, I need you to lay more emphasis. What they're just trying to tell you is that you're trying to draw someone's attention to a particular thing. You're trying to make sure that the person understands a particular thing even without explaining in deep terms. Now, you see most design that even by just seeing the image there, you can understand what that design is all about. So that is called emphasis. Now, it is very different from hierarchy. We will get there. Now, emphasis is like it needs to grab your attention. It's like the speck of the design. Yes, it's like the speck of the design, like okay, something that just grabs your attention that you just love, that you just love it. You can't just explain it, but you just love it. So the designer has been able to take your attention, grab your attention. So there is no way you are not going to want to read other details on that design. Now, the major aim why we work with emphasis is because we need the audience or the viewer to check for more details. It's just like we're having a picnic now and you're seeing a basket of fruit, when that image appeals to the viewer will want to know more about the program or about the image that is being on the design. So that is what emphasis. Sometimes emphasis might not only be as an image, might be as a typography, might be as probably even a color. Do you get? So it means that the designer is trying to call the audience attention to a particular thing, either the color, the typography, or the image. So it can be used in different ways. It can be an object, it can be a shape, it can be anything that you want your audience to see first, or that you want that you want to grab your audience attention with. So that is what we call emphasis. Now, the next one is movement. Now, according to biology, when I was still in school, I know it was Mr. Najadi. I think the last time I heard they say it's Mr. Najadak or Mr. Najad. I don't know. All of those things do not really matter in this life. But what I'm trying to say is that the first one is movement. Now, movement shows the way we move, the way we, live from one place to another, one of those things. So the same way is in design. Now, some designs will come to me, especially probably the ones that have been done by our guys at NHBC, the likes of Adlai and all of this. So, and if I'm a blind man, I can tell you that I will get lost with most designs that you will see, even without you having a depth insight or knowledge of design. You get lost because some designs are just not giving you the right movement. Now you see these two images that I added under the write up. You see the good one is moving from the bigger one to the smaller down to the smallest one. But you see the bad. Now, seriously, the bad is looking nice because he's having like big, small, big. You can say it's like a form of design, but it is rubbish. Now, there are some design that, okay, let me just say that it is not all design that are beautiful that are actually good designs. There are some beautiful designs that are bad designs, like bad designs. I have done so many bad designs before too because I have not followed maybe some principles of designs very well effectively. If I show you the design, you will apparently just say, there's nothing wrong with this design. But when I start trying to show you the place that I've neglected the principles of design, then you know that okay, yes, this is actually a bad design. Now, when you are creating a design, there must be a form of movement. I told you the last time that we were working about the class I was holding with some other set of guys that when you are designing, you are like a god. God is a designer. God is a creator. So when you are working on your Photoshop or any software you are working, you are a designer. You are a god on your own. So the client is just paying you for your experience, is paying you for expertise, paying you for your time. It is you that will dictate how you want that design to go. You are the one creating that information. You are trying to interpret the information or the brief that the client has given to you. Now, it is now left to you to take us, the viewer or the audience, through your design. Let us move with it. That is why it will not be nice for you to see a church flyer design and probably okay. There are some designs that you will see that what is supposed to come first is not coming first, and it's just dancing anyhow. I'm trying to be careful of what I'm going to say because I know that there are some twists to most of these things that it also happen. So there are some designs that the movement can be a bit dramatic. Now there is a particular flyer I did one time. I'll just share it that the logo of the church was at the bottom, not even at the top. So the way I wanted the movements to look like was different. Now that does not mean that we have to go that way or that same route. All I'm just trying to let you know that is that when you are designing, you are taking your client or your viewer through a route. So if you are moving well, they can relate well with your design. But when the movement is bad, it might not appeal to them, and that does not make it a very good design. Because if you are designing and your client is not okay with your design, or the viewers are finding it hard to resonate with it, it's a very bad design. So when we talk about movement, you have to make sure that from one place you are guiding the viewer's eyes from one place. No, we talked about the emphasis that it is the focal point where it will grab the attention of the audience. So when you be able to grab the attention of the audience, then you need to now make the audience move. So is when you grab the person's audience and you are now taking the person in the wrong way, do you think the person will like that? So it is only good and professional that when you are working on a design and you've been able to work effectively with the principle of emphasis and it has grabbed the audience attention, then you need to make the person move in a nice way. So I will share my screen now to show you a particular design that might look good but is a bad design because it does not follow the principle of movement. And I'll show you another one that the movement is a bit nice, but it might also not look good to you because of the way we've perceive designs to be or the way we think that that is how design should look like. Okay. Why is it not opening? Right. So with what we've discussed so far, is there any question at all? I'll try to share my screen.
Yeah, sure.
Any question at all? Do you have any question? Anybody? Okay. Why is it not opening? All right. So I don't want that to delay us anyway, but I really wish I can share that flyer with you guys so that you understand what I'm trying to say. Because that is only when we can really understand these principles very well. Because they look nice. They might look nice to you because the color, the everything is given, but they are actually bad designs because they did not follow the principles of design. So let me try to see if I can. Oof. Mhm.
Off I go. Yeah, you have. Yeah, well, have you seen okay, you're not using this one again. Yeah, graduate date. Deadline date. It's not that we see you.
All right now.
So no point saying that it's not that the agenda. Then I'll see the next week. Bye, Jared.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. I think there's a way I can do that. I just want us to. I really want us to. I want to share it with you guys so that you understand. Well, okay, yes. So let me just share screen. Please, can you see these designs? Can you see these designs? Can you see the designs, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, this design that I just clicked on is a very bad design. Very, very bad design. I'm trying to bring it out so that we can all see it. But I don't know what is wrong with my photo. It's not really, it's a very bad design because okay, thank God. It's actually looking it might actually look nice to you because the colors are complementing nice, the typography are okay, but the principles of movement in this on this design was actually very, very bad. Very, very, very bad. I designed it, so I understand that. So I'm not designing it for the job, it's my job. Now, the movement is not the right way. That's like it's not the right movement. I just wish I can explain like the real movement to you, but this is not a good movement because it's not just even because we are just having the topic there, the stuff there. So let me ask you a question. Now, what is the emphasis on this design? Obviously, I'm not trying to call you to come and see pastor because it's not like it's his birthday or something. So it's supposed to be a church flyer that will invite people to church based on the topic of what pastor will be preaching. So the fact that pastor is taking a little bit of space on that design has negated the main purpose of that flyer. Now it's saying the blessedness of giving. That is the title. That should be my emphasis. But on this design, I made pastor my emphasis. That is number one, red flag. Now, number two is that you see where the venue is, you see where the time is. The time, the venue, the dates are actually supposed to be at the same place. But I decided to turn the 8 a.m. the other way. Now, it might say, okay, it's a design, something, something, but that is actually wrong. Now, there are a lot of stuff wrong on this flyer. And when we get to alignment, we are going to treat it that you see that the blessedness of giving is at the left, is I work with the left alignment. But when you look at the social media icons and New Heritage Baptist Church at the extreme end by the right, you see that I work with the right alignment. That is another red flag. So let's just keep that. Let's keep that in mind. And I just go through my designs again and bring one kind of movement again. So we'll be able to really justify ourselves that okay, this is a nice movement. And there's a particular one I love so much. There's a particular movement I love so much that is on this place. Unfortunately, I don't have the source file to it anymore. I think it got deleted or something. I so much love that design. Where is it? Where are you? Yes, this is it. This is it. Now, you see the difference between this one, the blessedness of giving, and the one I'm about to show you. Now, it is very different. It is different because we are looking at it. Let's believe that you are just the viewer. You can pick the one that appeal to you, the one that you will pay for. So let's let it load, and you see this particular design. Apart from the color, you notice that there's a kind of movement. Now the first level is New Heritage Baptist Church logo. Okay, what is happening there? Responding to favor. Okay, with who? With Pastor Dari. Okay. The next one is the venue of this Sunday, 8 a.m. prompt. And all of this. Now, this Sunday should be followed by the date, but most times, as designer, I just want to do something. Probably we saw it on a particular flyer. I'm like, okay, I can bring this to my design also. But you notice that the movement is systematic and is just so interesting because I don't need to. I don't know. I don't know if you're feeling it. You don't need to stress yourself too much before you can grab what is happening on that flyer. Now, apart from the fact that pastor is standing on his own, standing nice and smiling at the viewer, you can see that responding to people is like the emphasis, like he's taking his own space. He's taking his own space with Pastor Dayo Dosum off in Ilorin Road, Thank you, Okeodo, Ilorin, this Sunday, 8 a.m. prompt. And everything, the alignment is superb, everything is okay. So you can say that you don't have any problem trying to move around anywhere. The movement is direct. So that is how a good design should have the principle of movement. So quickly, because of my time, I just want to move to the next one because I really want us to understand all of these things because just like I said, not all designs are actually good. It does not matter how nice they are looking. Now, rhythm. So rhythm can help unify a work of art by repeating lines, shapes, and colors. Now, I am a music person, and for every one of us that listen to music and listen to maybe songs or anything, any song, probably hip hop, gospel, or what have you, there's a particular rhythm that they used to have, especially hip hop. There's a particular rhythm that it used to have. Probably after the lead singer has finished singing, the rhythm just continue going like that, just keep going like that. Now, for for okay, you might not know this song because it's like a bit new. So let me say mm, someone should please give me like a song. I don't know. Just someone should just suggest a song now. I just want to like pick something out of it to explain this rhythm to us.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Who
All
is
I
that?
have to
Who is that? Oh my. Okay, okay. Now, I listen to video all over a lot. I can, in the space of 10 minutes, he can sing 20 songs. But I can assure you that out of these 20 songs, I can tell you the beats that will follow these 20. Now, he has a lot of engagement. Engagement in the sense that okay, he has a lot of bookings. Now, BD Developer is one person that when he sing here and he's singing in another place the next 3 days, just be rest assured that 80% of what he did in this place will be what he's going to be doing in that place. So there's a kind of rhythm that has been created, a kind of steady, like it's like it has become a pattern. It's just like when you're singing enemy yo, enemy Mako, you know the next thing that will come. You've created that kind of rhythm. It has now become like a pattern that is going. Now there's one particular song that there's one particular so when you're talking about rhythm, it goes that way. Now in your design, it means that you are not just um designing anything anyhow. You are creating a kind of rhythm, a kind of pattern. So it means like okay, don't let me explain it in musical. Let's just check a particular design to see how the rhythm works. Because I do not have a lot of time, I would have taken my time to actually explain all of these things so that we will really understand. So that you see that this thing is just normal. They are all these things are just tactics. Tactics in working. It's not something that is really not something that is really that much. So reading, just like I was saying, reading can take any form. It's just like you're having a form of regular stuff moving together at the same time, and you're not leaving that rhythm. So you're trying to create like it's just like when you're playing, you're singing, and someone is playing drums to it. If the person continue in that same rhythm, you keep enjoying it. But if the person change, it means that you have to change to another form of rhythm, and that will quickly alert you that okay, we are moving to another thing. But when you are going with that kind of rhythm, it makes sense, and now everything is just moving together the same way, the same way. Okay, let's use this, and everything is just going the same way. Now, reading can take different form. It can be the form of using the same typography throughout your design. It can be the form of using the same picture or the same color throughout your design. So you're trying to create a reading of same picture or of same color in your design. Now, in this design, the first aspect, apart from the smiling guy and the back to school, you notice that there's a form of rhythm in the way this course registration process, tutorial on basic course, how they move. That's like a form of rhythm. You can see it's going this way. It's going this way. It's going this way. Now that is different from movement. You can create a form of rhythm anyhow you want to do it. You can create a form of rhythm anyhow you want to do it. And even as I'm showing you guys this design, I want you to also be noticing the emphasis, the movement, and everything that is on the design. So that even when you're seeing all of this, you can quickly point out that okay, this is emphasis, this is the movement, this is which other one have we talked about? This is balance and all of those. So you can feel that this one is an asymmetrical balance because the guy is already taking a larger part of the design, and all of this is moving. You can see the emphasis is on welcome back to school. Back to school taking the emphasis itself, and the movement is also coming down. Okay, Assembly of Champions, welcome back to school. It's actually supposed to be welcome you back to school. That's an error from there. So that's how it's moved. And when we talk about rhythm again, rhythm can be in the form of the shape that you are using. So when you use a shape continuously, yeah, it's not just one shape you are using. Probably two is appearing 3 times, 4 times. You're trying to create a form of rhythm. Get so it's just appearing, and you're creating. And there's a particular form of rhythm I like using a lot is by I give the name. Probably we'll talk about, okay, let me see. The dates we have a different color. The date we have a different color. Why the date itself, probably 3rd of April, we have another color. And it also applies to the time and the venue. So that's like a form of rhythm also. Just like in this design. Now, the rhythm here is that for the name of the stuff, like this ministry. Why is it not loading? Okay, good. You can see ministry. You can see ministry is having yellow, and the name of the minister is having the white. You can see the 8 a.m. prompt. You can see the church. So there's a rhythm of yellow and white. They are just going together. That's like a form of rhythm. That you are creating a form of rhythm. Now imagine that in this place, instead of everything having yellow, I'm just giving special Nigeria, and independent service is having white. So that's like you've created a perfect form of rhythm. Do we understand? You've created a perfect form of rhythm, and the audience will feel it. So it's not just about you just creating designs or something. This one is not a rhythm at all. This one is even God save me. So that is how rhythm works. Sometimes it can be when you are using a particular type of shape for continuously in your design. So it's just like having a repetition of different stuff. Now, this is very important. Hierarchy. In design, hierarchy organize elements to confer importance. So it is different from emphasis. It is different from emphasis. So when we're talking about hierarchy, it shows how I'm trying to find the Suya Night flyer. It should really help me to explain the other ones with this little time I have. Suya Night, where are you? Is Suya Night rebranded now? Okay. So when we're talking about hierarchy, is in every aspect we have hierarchy. In the church we have the pastor, we have the board of directors, we have the burden bearers, we have a lot of them having their hierarchy that way. So you know that when you're having, let's say that you're having the church organizing committee as a designer, you understand that pastor will be the one that will be taking the highest hierarchy. The next person that will be following probably the secretary or whatsoever way that they are going to do their own hierarchy. But in design, it means that you must give importance to everything that is on your design, and they can't have equal importance. They can't have equal importance because one will always be your emphasis, and some will be less important to others. Yes, some will be less important to others. So the hierarchy means that everything cannot take the same size, everything cannot take the same shape, everything cannot take the same form. Do you get? So when you are designing, that's why you see some the headline is bigger, and the other fonts or other details of the design, they are smaller. So it's not that because the designer did not want you to see the other details, or the designer is a very bad person and does not want you to see all those good stuff, but because they all have different importance, and he has to rank them by their importance in that flyer or in that design. Now, okay. When you see this flyer now, we've talked about the principle of empathy and every all of this stuff. You notice that the Suya Knight is having a different size from the rebranded. Now, the Suya Knight rebranded is having a different size from Blazing Love. Do you get? So is also having, when you check the time and the date, you will see 4 p.m. is having different size from Red Carpet. Now, the importance of all of this is that we are inviting you to this program. First is Suya Night. We are trying to sell. We are trying to sell the Suya Night rebranded, and we'll be able to get that right by saying, okay, Suya Night having that nice test mock-up, and it's coming out nice with the background. But you will notice that it's only we that we are in church that we understand that, okay, Blazing Love is actually the theme of the program. You get, but anybody outside there, we know it might not even see Blazing Love. What we are trying to say is Suya Nice rebranded, and we've effectively sold that with the Suya and everything just coming there and the fire and everything like this. So when you see the date, I'm trying to tell you that, okay, it is not just any day in February, it is the 14th. I'm trying to like place importance on it. I'm trying to give it that hierarchy that, no, this one is the guy. It's not February 15. We are not calling you on February 15. It's February 14 that we are calling you. You understand? Now we are letting you to know that, okay, that day it is 4 p.m. that is the red carpet, not 3 p.m. So I'm giving it that hierarchy and that size because they have their own different importance. Now I can always say red carpet 4 p.m. that will have the same size with the red carpet, but it might actually not show how serious I am with that 4 p.m. So anybody that is seeing that 4 p.m. and another person is coming by 6 o'clock and is saying that, àwọn people yìí tètè palẹ̀mọ́, you say, ṣé o you know you flyer àtọ́ pọ̀ gàdàgbà pé 4 p.m. ni your best red carpet. So it's just like you're trying to show that, okay, this one is important. Do you understand? So when we talk about hierarchy, it means that everything cannot take the same size. Obviously, if every of the details on this design is taking the same size, then it will just be rough. It will be very, very rough. Now you look at this design now, and we can tell that, okay, yes, we have emphasis. The movement is actually very, very nice and sexy. Yes, the movement is nice. From Sienna Shibanded, Blazing Love, the date, the venue, the time, and what you're going to be doing there. You get. So, and you can see the suya too is looking amazing. So even if our suya does not look like this or does not look like this, I wasn't there, so I don't know how it looked like. But I've been able to create a kind of image in the heart of anybody that has seen this flyer that I'm coming there to eat meat. So your design must be able to push something like that out through the way you work with the principles of design. So, hierarchy in graphic design utilize several principles: size, color, contrast, alignment, repetition, brightness, just to emphasize certain characteristics of the design. So if I'm inviting you to my wedding with a wedding invitation, it will be an eyesore that the name of my daddy is taking a bigger size than my name. Is not the one getting married, I'm the one getting married. So the hierarchy and the emphasis should be on me. So that is just how it looks like. So you give importance to it. So the date of the event can actually be bigger than the size of the name of my dad, because that is the day that we'll be getting married. So is the name of my dad will be there as my father, but does not mean that it's going to take the same size or the same hierarchy or the same emphasis as the date of the event that I'm inviting you for. So I just hope that we get to understand like all of these principles. There are things that pertains to us even physically and our day-to-day lives. So I think the last one, I'm very sorry, I know. The last one is white space. Now, what is white space in design? White space is one of the 13 basic principles and refers to any black or empty space surrounding all the other elements in a design composition. It is very simple. Now, you will see this first one and the second one. Now, you should tell yourself which one can you read without straining your eyes. Is it the first one or the second one? Obviously, it's the first one, which means that everything you're going to be doing, you don't have to jam pack it. Let them breathe. Let your elements breathe. Let everything you're going to be doing breathe, so that people can see your design from afar and can be able to get something out of what you are doing. So it is not that you have to jam pack everything, push everything together, and it's not making sense. Give them space so that the person that is reading can a sense of movement even while he's reading, with you separating your components, separating your elements, separating your typography, separating your color, separating your image, so that everything can breathe and they have white space for to accommodate other things. So with everything that I've said since morning, it will be a very bad thing that you'll be designing and all of these principles will not be on your design. In fact, all elements might not be on your design, but trust me, the principles of design must be complete. Yes, quote me anywhere. The principles of the design must be complete. It must be complete on your design. It must be complete on your design. The last one that is there is unity. Unity is just like we have to be together. So it's not like contrast is just flying away. This one is flying away. Everything has to align, move together. When you see it, you know, okay, this design, they are actually cool designs that are staying together. You get so at this moment now, I want to believe that we all understand when they say, okay, hierarchy, we're talking about infancy, we are talking about movement, we are talking about reading, we are talking about unity, we are talking about, typography, element of design. Once we have this basic knowledge, trust me, when you are designing, even you personally will be able to say, I know, I've done rubbish. Do you get? So every of these things works together. Now, in this particular design, the this design was an interview was an interview work. I went for an interview and they asked us to replicate this design. And it was stated in the interview question that 7 principles of design must be followed. Was it 7? No, maybe okay. They asked us to highlight the principle of design that was followed. Yes, so the first one that was followed is alignment. I used the right alignment throughout. You can see it is starting from here, it is starting from here, starting from here, starting from here, starting from here. Do you get? Now the other alignment was reading. Reading venue is having different color. This is having white. This is having different colors. This is having white. This is having different colors. This is having white. And just like that, white space, there's clearly space between them. You can always read them truly without you trying to cover your face, cover one face or not cover the other. Emphasis, it is only someone that has a bitter heart, even someone that just had the breakup will understand that this flyer is talking about love. Let's talk about love. The flyer itself is talking about love because you see art dancing around and all of the stuff is just bouncing. So the emphasis is there. The hierarchy was given. Hierarchy was given to the name, to the topic itself. Hierarchy was given to the venue, to the date, the Sunday, and you can see that the Sunday, the size of Sunday and other one here is different from the first service and second service. Do you get it? So the hierarchy was given to it. So you can always, when you're designing, you should be able to pick like 4 or 5. In fact, principles of design. When you follow them, your work will be neat. You will enjoy your work. You'll be like, yes, I'm able to do this stuff. You understand? So that is how a good design should look. Now, unfortunately, I don't have all of those work design that I've worked on before, but I can always tell you that when you see a good design and you see a bad design now does not mean that it's not fine. Yes, bad design does not mean that it's not fine, but when you see a bad one, when you see a bad one, you understand that okay, this is a bad design. I just want design. I don't want to use. Let me use my own. So while I ran off, I just want to show us like series of designs that they actually look nice. In fact, I got paid very well for them, but deep down, I know that I did rubbish. Most times you don't get to see them when you are working. Probably you are involved with a lot of deadline works that you just have to do. But trust me, when you go back and when you see the work, you know that no, Pamilerin, you've done rubbish again. Yeah, because you've not followed some some guidelines that are supposed to follow, and it is not professional for you as a graphic designer. Looking at this design now, looking at this design, the reading was created with the circle. The circle is having their own reading. You're seeing purple and white. But you notice that I used the right alignment for right alignment here. So what is the left and what is the center alignment doing in this place? That is office number one. Office number two is that I use right alignment. What is this thing doing here? This is the left alignment instead of right alignment. My order now is in the center alignment. So you can see that it is looking nice to you, but trust me, you cannot give me the design now, and I will not quickly identify to you that, guy, you've done rubbish, this place, this place, this place, this place. That is why I'm showing you my work. So designs can look nice, can look so beautiful, but they are still bad designs. So I think at this point now, we should be able to identify the different principles of design. And when you start looking at designs now, because as a designer, before you can know how to design, you have to watch other people's designs. So this will guide you to know the right designs to watch, the right designs to look at, the right design to spend time with, because whatsoever you spend time looking, by default, it creeps into your creative knowledge and you start becoming like that. Yeah, so even as a designer, you have to follow people that knows how to design more than you guys. So I think my time is up, and I'll just step back. So if there's any questions, I will just attend to maybe one or two now.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
What's the question?
Yes, sir. You said something about emphasis and hierarchy. Is it
Yes.
possible that okay, you say emphasis, the first thing you are creating a focal stuff on the view of the design, what you
Yes.
want to attract the viewer
Yes.
first. Is it possible that the emphasis take a higher percentage than the hierarchy of the design?
No, you are mixing it up. Emphasis is to grab a particular person's attention, is to grab an attention of your viewer. Hierarchy is to show the importance of the element on your design. So obviously, when you are giving an element, you are making it the emphasis, it means that it is taking higher percentage in the form of hierarchy. So even when you are saying that this image is my emphasis point, is the focal point, it means that you are still in the process of giving it hierarchy. I don't know if you get me. It's just like when we're in a church and the point when it's time for preaching, the focal point is the pastor. The focal point is the pastor. And if the pastor is the focal point, who is the head of the church at that moment? He is the pastor. So in the form of hierarchy, he is still the one. And the form of emphasis on who you should look at during that sermon, he is still the one. So all you just have to do is that when you pick something as your emphasis, just as you can see on this one, you can see that it is the yellow. Once you pick something as emphasis, it's just something to attract the person, attract your viewer, just to grab your viewer's attention. You get, so it will now lead the viewer to look at other elements on your design. And when you are giving it hierarchy, just like I've explained, by the importance of what is happening. That's why when you are designing, you don't just ask that, okay, what do you want on your design, and blah, blah, you just go to it. You ask the person, what are those things that you want to take maximum importance?